evening, I'm Ces Orenia Drilon.
And I'm Sean Yao.
Just like his appointment, his relief came as a surprise to many. General Nicolas Torre III has been replaced by his second-in-command, becoming the first top cop in PNP history to be sacked, and with the shortest stint yet.
Batangas 1st District Representative Leandro Leviste has sued the district engineer who tried to bribe him. But now the lawmaker wants that same DPWH official to turn state witness and help put a stop to anomalous flood control projects.
And Senate President Chis Escudero has a warning to contractors who snubbed the first blue ribbon inquiry into flood control projects. Show up or get arrested.
We are a country of laws and not of men. He did not violate any laws. It is simply a choice of the president to take a new direction for the PNP.
85 days. That's how long Police General Nicolas Torre served as Chief of the Philippine National Police. Early today, a shock announcement from Malacanang. Torres out, relieved from his post by President Bongbong Marcos himself. The firing was initially made public through a blunt letter addressed to Torre. Almost immediately, the big question was, why was Torre suddenly dismissed and replaced? The general was instrumental in the serving of the ICC arrest warrant to former President Rodrigo Duterte in March and the arrest of Kingdom of Jesus Christ Pastor Apollo Quiboloy in September last year. In a media briefing earlier today, Interior Secretary John Vic Remulla did not provide any clearer details on Torres' relief, but Remulla did hint that Torres' departure had something to do with the recent revamp in key PNP positions. Recall that Torre reassigned Natates as head of the Area Police Command for Western Mindanao and replaced him with Lieutenant General Bernard Banac as Deputy Chief for Administration.
We are a country of laws and not of men, that the institutions must be larger than the people who run it. And in this case, the President saw it necessary that the institution of the PNP and the NAPOCOM be upheld as according to the spirit of the law as it was created. He did not violate any laws. He has not been charged with any violations. He has not been charged criminally nor admissively. It is simply a choice of the president to take a new direction for the PNP. And the president has made a decision to go in another direction. The president reserves the right to see what is best fit for the PNP.
Despite Torres' firing, Remulla said he still has the president's trust and may even be given another position in government.
The president is very fond of General Torre. In his brief tenure as chief and even before that as CIDG, the president and General Torre have had a wonderful and productive relationship. However, there comes a crossroads in a president's decision-making that he has to make the tough but necessary decisions to push his agenda forward. That will be taken up by the NAPOCOM. However, I was privy to a conversation that the president is considering him for another post in government, and we will know soon if General Torre will accept.
For now, General Torre will keep his rank as a 4-star general. However, this poses a problem for his successor, as there can only be one 4-star rank in the PNP hierarchy at a time. Police Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. will be serving as officer in charge of the PNP. Nartates said he intends to continue programs initiated by Torre. The Lieutenant General belonged to the Tanglaudiwa class of 1992 of the PMA, the year before the PNP closed its doors to PMA graduates as potential head of the police force. Nartates is the 32nd Police Chief and the 5th since the Marcos administration took over.
The Philippine National Police is a dynamic organization. We are covered by orders, we are covered by policies. As a fine Filipino public servants na minsan ay isang sundalo, susunod lang tayo kung ano ang ibibigay na utos. Especially, this is a general order.
General Nicolas Torre III acted beyond his authority, and this could have been the reason for his firing. That's what former PNP chief and Senator Ping Lacson thinks. Despite an order from authorities to retain Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartates, Lacson said that Torre's decision to relieve his second-in-command broke protocol. Lacson explained that the designation and relief of members of the PNP command group should be cleared with the president or at least with the ex officio chairman of the National Police Commission or NAPOLCOM and the Secretary of Interior and Local Government. Senator Amy Marcos recalls speaking to Torre about this.
Pagkaalam ko na demote si Nartates at iba pang general na Ilocano, nagdadaing kung bakit daw nangyari yun. Kaya sinita ko siya, sabi ko, hoy, ba't ganun? Nako, may balik yan, magdahan-dahan ka. Hindi ko naman alam, magiging bilang anghel ako. At nagpapaumanhin ako, wala akong alam.
Senator Bato de la Rosa, himself a former PNP chief, said that he sympathizes with Torre.
Galit ako na naawa ako sa kanya. Because I've been there. What if ako ang nandyan, nakaupo, at sinunod ko lahat ng orders ng nagbibigay ng orders sa akin. Lahat na ginawa ko. Kahit na yung bordering to illegal acts, unconstitutional acts, questionable acts. Ginawa ko na lahat-lahat. Pagkatapos, ngayon, tanggalin lang niyo ako ng unceremoniously. That's my opinion as a former chief PNP. Just goes to show na ulang forever.
Meantime, Senate President Cheese Escudero and Senate President Pro Tempore Jinggoy Estrada both agree that any executive appointee serves at the pleasure of the president.
Sana hindi maapektuhan dahil again, serving at the pleasure of the president ang sino mang PNP chief.
If you remember, the first time when he was appointed as chief PNP, sinabi ko na we have the most arrogant chief of police in the police force. Siguro, I really do not know the reason behind his relief, but I think the president knows best.
Several members of the lower house were also surprised with the president's decision to sack General Torre. Akbayan Party List Representative Percy Sandanya wrote on X, yung mga sangkot sa flood control dapat ang sibakin pero ang Chief PNP ang tinanggal. Anyari? Mamamayang Liberal Party List Representative Laila De Lima also wrote, quote, "What's happening? They better have a good reason in doing that to a very popular, much appreciated, and high-performing PNP chief."
Torre's case is a first in Philippine history where a sitting PNP chief was directly relieved by the president. Previous chiefs have either resigned or have been reassigned before the end of their term. Former top cop and now Senator Ping Lacson stepped down after EDSA DOS in 2001, with then-President Gloria Macapagal Arroyo accepting his resignation. In 2015, Alan Purisima quit amid the controversy over the bloody Mama Sapano encounter. His resignation was accepted by late President Noynoy Aquino. During former President Rodrigo Duterte's administration, Ronald Bato de la Rosa was reassigned to the Bureau of Corrections. He was later replaced by Oscar Albayalde as PNP chief. Albayalde resigned weeks before his retirement in 2019 following the Ninja Cops controversy. What sets Torres' case apart is the immediacy of his removal, coming barely 3 months after assuming leadership of the police force. Officials have yet to elaborate on the reasons behind this unprecedented action. And he has been tapped to replace former PNP Chief Nicolas Torre. And joining us tonight on the big story is PNP Officer in Charge, Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr. Good evening to you, General.
Good evening. Good evening as well to our listeners.
General, were you as surprised as the nation when you learned that you would be made the PNP chief?
Yes, of course. I was discharging and performing my duties in Pagadian as in my capacity as the area police commander for Western Mindanao. So I received a call about late mid-afternoon, and then I fly back to Manila.
Have you spoken to your predecessor?
I haven't spoken to my predecessor. There was a turnover this morning, and supposed to be nandun. So wala po.
Well, it was a rather humiliating departure of General Torre. But, sir, you're by the president naming you as PNP chief, you're backed up by. We understand that you were hurt. You had complaints, as disclosed by Senator Amy Marcos.
I'm a part of the organization, particularly the PNP. Once I receive order, everybody, ay susunod. Wala naman akong ginawa. And then I followed the order when I was designated as APC in Western Mindanao. Yun lang po ang trabaho. We follow orders.
Opo. Nag-sign ng mga regional PNP chiefs ng support for General Torre when this rigodon was done. But were there rumblings in the organization, and is this the reason why you are now PNP OIC? Tama po, no? Before you answer po the question, OIC, you're considered an OIC now since General Torre is a 4-star general. Is that correct?
Yes, a while ago, this morning, I signed an assumption that I'm assuming as the OIC of the Philippine National Police. And by virtue of the order, meron po tayong acting capacity po ngayon.
Opo. So, may mga rumblings po ba nung naganap yung rigodon at nag-utos din ng NAPOLCOM na dapat ay i-reinstate yung mga posisyon na binago ni General Torre?
Well, I have to look again at the procedure, and then if there is a resolution, I have to look kasi mag-opisina pa ako bukas, and then I will look about its implementation.
Okay. General Nartates, kailan po kayo tinawagan sa Pagadian para pumunta dito sa Manila?
Yes, exactly mga 2:30 p.m. yesterday.
Yesterday lang po. And did they tell you why? Or nagulat ka na lang pagdating mo dito at sinabihan ka?
I was told to report to our SILG, Secretary Remulla, and so tumakbo po ako.
Okay.
So,
but during that time, wala pang sinasabi. So, nagulat lang ako when I arrived here in Manila.
Balikan ko lang yung sagot mo kanina kay Ces, no? She did ask you how you felt nung nilipat kayo doon sa Pagadian. Siyempre, tao lang po tayo, no? I understand that, of course, you have orders and you will obey them as a police officer. Pero as a person po, were you shocked or did you feel that was in any way unfair?
Well, siyempre, member ako ng isang organization. Order is order. We need to follow order. Personally, nasa-shock din tayo or nagulat din tayo. So he is the chief of the PNP. Susundin po natin.
did you ever bring up your gripes or concerns to General Torre at that time?
He gave the order, and then I acceded to that order.
Did he tell you or give you any reason at all for why na-reshuffle po kayo? Not just you, but also the other officers.
Talking about that position or placement, that is Area Police Command for Western Mindanao with the rank of Lieutenant General. And then, of course, there is a pressing concern, especially so that number one, of course, is yung ating parliamentary election in Bangsamoro region of Mindanao. So I will be in charge to look at the operations, especially the security aspects in the election. So yun po ang instruction.
Would you consider po your main task now to unify the organization kung merong mga nagalit sa ikot-ikot po ng mga posisyon?
Well, ang pag-ikot-ikot ng position placement, of course, is normal po yan. May nagre-retire, may kailangan umakyat, and then kailangan lateral movement. Normal po sa organization, lalong-lalo na sa Philippine National Police.
Pero
wala dapat maging masyak dyan. And the organization should work. And we must discharge our zone duty. Kung ano yung mission function mo doon, ay gawin po natin.
Pero wala pong turf war sa loob ng PNP at the moment that you're aware of, General?
Sa nakikita ko, wala naman turf war. As long as may order, nandiyan na ang order, and you have assumed, everybody will abide to that.
Did General Torre steal the limelight from, the President, the SILG? Was that one of the mistakes that he made?
With regards to that, personal po yan. Well, of course, hindi ko po alam kung ano yung what is in the mind of our former CPN.
Sources are telling us, General, na nag-e-empake na si General Torre so that you may move into the White House inside Krame, which is the residence of the Chief PNP. Would you confirm this? And may we ask you when you are moving in?
Well, I'm still in my quarters dito sa Camp Crame. Meron naman quarters po mga estarang dito. And if he is moving out, then tignan po natin. Kasi wala pa akong information about that.
Okay. Yung isa pang ugong-ugong ngayon, no, especially online, General, is that medyo kasi dapat kayo po yung huling PMA-er na magiging PNP chief po, class of 1992. Kasi after your class, puro PNPA na. Did that have anything to do, you think, kahit na one small factor lang siya dun sa naging desisyon po ng presidente?
Well, yung pag-appoint ng isang PNP chief, of course, lies on the authority of our president. So, nasa kanya po yan. He has a lot of intelligence, he has a lot of information to make the decision. So, nandiyon. And we just follow order. Lahat po ng PNP members ay ganyan po, especially the Philippine National Police and in any other armed units like the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Susunod po kami because he is our commander-in-chief.
So, it should also apply to General Torre, no matter how humiliating this was, as an officer, he should just take his order from the commander-in-chief.
Tama po yan.
Okay. And yung turnover, nabanggit ninyo dapat kanina, if I heard you correctly, pero wala po doon si General Torre. Do you have plans na kung kailan tong turnover magyayari? I listened to your speech. You also plan to carry over some of his programs, yung mga nasimulan po ni General Torre. And will this turnover be with General Torre or perhaps other members of his staff? Bale, magkikita po ba kayo? Sa madaling salita.
Well, I have already assumed post and I will discharge my functions and accomplish our mission to the best of my ability. Yun pong gagawin ko. So, alam niyo po, yung PNP, we are trying to make it more professionalized, lalong-lalo na this is about 30 years plus years old organization or bureau under the DILG. Gagawin po nating professional nito at dire-diretso na po like our predecessors, katulad ni General Torre. Maganda po yung mga programa and we will tuloy-tuloy po yan. Actually, in place po ang ating mga police operational procedure, our policy. Nandyan po lang lahat. What we're going to do is just revisit, we will improve, and implement it, and of course in coordination with our community. Whether it is a function of in administrative matters or operational. Nandyan po lahat. Iniiwan po ng ating mga magagaling, ng mga hepe ng Philippine National Police yan, mga dati na po naging hepe. At nandyan po tuloy-tuloy. Minsan binabago lang ang pangalan, pero in substance or gist of this operation or policy or circular ay pare-parehas lang po.
General, I know you're just a few hours into your position, pero ano po bang update dito sa missing Sabongeros? Ang tagal na pong walang balita tungkol sa kasong yon, which is under the CIDG, no?
Yes. That's one of the pressing task that the PNP will be doing, and we have a unit for that. And I will inquire about what the update on that. Especially so that a case has been filed with the Department of Justice, and it will be a continuing investigation in coordination with the other law enforcement unit, especially the Department of Justice. We will be, of course, behind them to support in the continuing investigation and prosecution.
All right. Also, in the last couple of months, we've seen a more activist NAPOLCOM. It was the NAPOLCOM that called the attention of General Torre with respect to the reshuffle of PNP officers, and also it's investigating some of those police officers involved in the missing Sabongeros case. This, you welcome this more activist stance that the NAPOLCOM is taking compared to previous NAPOLCOM administrations?
Yes, of course, we'll always abide in support with the NAPOLCOM's action. That is basically the mandate of the NAPOLCOM. They oversee the Philippine National Police operational supervision and administrative control. So sila po ang watchdog ng PNP, especially in the repository of policy circulars. Yan po ang nakalagay sa batas. The Philippine National Police was created by virtue of 6975. Klaro naman po. Klaro ang mandato ng NAPOLCOM. That is including the administrative cases.
Kahit na sumalungat,
na-commit ng PNP personnel.
kahit na salungat sa inyong mga utos.
They oversee the Philippine National Police. Okay, as a matter of fact, the Chief PNP is a sitting member in ex officio capacity ng NAPOLCOM.
Okay, so well, marami kang early fans ngayon. No? Isa na nga doon, General Nartates. I see Senadora Amy Marcos.
I was about to say, it's the one thing that she welcomes sa ginawa ng kapatid niya. Laging nagkikriticize yun. Go ahead, Sean.
So, close raw po ba kayo talaga kaya Senator Amy Marcos? She mentioned ikaw po yung PD niya dati, I guess, when she was governor?
Yes, during the election period, way back in 2016, particularly January 10 of 2016, I was designated as officer in charge of the Ilocos Norte PPO. Election period po yun, and I was designated. Sunod lang po ako. At tumakbo ako as designated by the Chief PNP. And then after a while, tinanggap niya naman po ako after the election, especially the result of the election. It was a bloodless election in 2016 in Ilocos Norte, and I spent there for 27 months and 10 days until I was replaced.
You didn't serve Ilocos during the president's term. Masyadong bata pa kayo. As governor or as congressman.
The governor then was now Senator Amy Marcos.
Okay. So let's go to the BARM elections, General, because you said that that was the task given you, and that is also a very important election that's coming up. Ngayon, who will you who will you give this task to?
Well, right now I have a deputy, Major General Baiting, and since my absence, napunta lang po ako dito sa Metro Manila, dito sa Kamkrami po. I gave orders that I will hold as officer in charge of that unit. Ang gagawin niya lang naman po is to supervise and direct operations to ensure that Western Mindanao is safe. And more particularly, ito pong parliamentary election dun sa BARN. Area Police Command Western Mindanao has jurisdiction over 3 regions. Region 9, Region 12, and BARN. So, nandun po may kanya-kanya pong RDON, and he supervises and oversees with the different police forces and other law enforcement units yan. Kailangan po magkakasama po sila, including the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Kasi marami pong tropa doon, especially in other operations to deny and or matalo po natin maalis po natin yung mga threat groups doon. Like for example, the Communist Terrorist Group, the Local Terrorist Group, including the criminal gangs, as well as the presence of potential PAGs and private armed groups. And of course, aganawa or tignan po natin ng mga peace-inclined armed group doon.
May worry
Yun po
po
ang
ba?
trabaho ng...
Sana maging peaceful.
May worry po ba about the MILF General Nartates? Because recently, no, naglabas sila ng statement saying na hindi muna sila, magpo-pause muna sila sa pagbaba ng kanilang mga armas. Do you think this will impact the upcoming BARM elections in any way?
Well, continuously the OPAPRO, the Office Presidential for Assistant for Peace and Reconciliation and Unity, sila po ang may OPR po dyan at ginagawa po yan. Continuously nag-negotiate or they are talking. Together with, of course, yung law enforcement and the Armed Forces of the Philippines na kasapi, including the local government unit.
General, isang pahabol pang question. There is an awkward situation where you are the PNP OIC, you're the chief, but there is one person who has a higher rank than you. Paano po yun?
Okay. Parang hindi ko narinig, pakiulit.
Parang may awkward situation po wherein you are the chief PNP, but there is another officer who has a higher rank than you.
There are two, the rank and the position. So magkaiba po yun. If you're designated in that position, whether you're not still holding the rank, it's okay for as long as you can discharge your function. In this case, I was designated as the Chief Philippine National Police. No problem po yun.
As chief, anong gagawin nyo kay General Torre?
Well, he's been relieved as the chief, and then ako po yung chief, and then meron naman pong process yan. May be assigned to PIHAW and or dito po sa Office of the Chief PNP. Assignment lang po where he is being accounted.
So he'll be floating, on floating status.
Ganun na po yun.
I'm assuming, no, but I could be wrong, General, na hindi niyo pa po nakakausap yung presidente, but you have obviously spoken to SILG John Vic Remulla. Ano po yung marching orders na nabigay sa inyo? Meron na ba or wala pa?
Well, the marching order, of course, is to ensure peace and order, public safety sa community in coordination with the community. Kasi kung wala pong coordination, how can they see kung anong ginagawa ng PNP. It should be felt. It is not enough that you're seen in the street. It's not enough that you're responding. They should appreciate it. Peace and order is shared responsibility of the community and the police. Hindi lang police. We are doomed to fail kapag hindi po nakikita or na-appreciate or not in participation ng ating community. So doon lang po naglalaro. Ang ating mission is to enforce the law, prevent and control crime, maintain peace and order, ensure public safety and internal security with the active support of the community. Dati, hindi nila na-appreciate yung with the active support of the community. Importante po yun. It is not enough that we are discharging yung sinabi kong unang mga functions. Yung panghuli, magiging proactive po tayo. We will go to the community at makipagpulong-pulong tayo. Ano ba? Kasi iba-ibang lugar, iba-ibang pwesto ay iba-iba po. Like for example, in Visayas, may type po ng operation doon. May isang LGU, Chief Executive or Governor, Mayor, merong or Governor, may iba-iba po silang kung paano to maintain the peace and order.
In line with
Yun
that,
lang po.
okay, and in line with that, General, and to circle back to Ces's point earlier about a more, kumbaga mas maingay at mas involved at mas active na NAPOLCOM na naririnig ng tao, have you planned or scheduled a meeting with NAPOLCOM na, and where do you plan to take this new direction, so it would seem that the NAPOLCOM is taking?
Yes, I will. It is one of my functions to familiarize myself with the NAPOLCOM, especially so that we subordinate with their policies, with yung policy na yun, di pa rin naman ang galing and they are affirming it. And they oversee the PNP, and especially so that the Chief PNP is a sitting member of the NAPOLCOM as ex officio. And regularly, periodically, meron pong meeting ang nangyayari po dyan, deliberating policies as well as decisions.
And it's good to have a stronger supervisory oversight by the NAPOLCOM as compared to previous NAPOLCOM organizations or heads.
Tama po yan. It is not only the PNP that, or the Chief PNP and the PNP is doing their thing to improve the PNP. It's the community, and about that, of course, community, civilian authority, is of course, nandyan po ang NAPOLCOM. Kaya nagpapasalamat kami with that law 6975. Nandyan ang NAPOLCOM kasi sila po ang nag-administer sa amin.
So ano ho ang babaguhin nyo dun sa mga sinimula ni General Torre in his short stint of 85 days?
I have to look, pero great job po yung ginawa ng iniwang legacy ng ating outgoing Chief Torre, especially in the police response. Police response is part of the enhanced managing police operation. It's only part. It is the output of the managing police operation.
And for
Okay,
you,
so kung i-discuss po natin yan, parang isang semester po yan.
for you na lang, General, no? I know it's early yet and it's only been a few hours, pero what legacy would you like to leave with the PNP?
Of course, we should have a continuing change. Ang pagbabago ay lagi pong nandyan. May mga palisiya po na luma na at i-redraft po natin, tignan po natin. Ang importante po is may focus po tayo, especially so that I will lay down talking to my commanders, and I will lay down the policy and focus. And I have set my focus especially during this morning's assumption. Naglalaro po yun sa the management of our resources, whether personnel, material, logistics, finances, and then of course, we review our operational procedures, our policies with regards to security plan on vital resources, security plan on risk management, security plan for activities and events. We need to look at the moral and welfare of our personnel. We need to have a strong organization of looking at the yung nakakasira po sa aming imahe, especially the rug cups. Okay, so we will increase our integrity monitoring And of course, our managing police operations. So managing police operations, of course, is we deny the occurrence of the focus crime, especially yung focus crimes natin, prevalent crime. And if kung may mangyari, we need to ensure that these personalities who are involved in these focus crimes or prevalent crimes are identified and arrested, and they should face the consequences. Yun lang po maglalaro doon at napakarami na. And
Napakarami na nga po talaga.
We should have a mastery of our community. Okay? At with that EMPO, we will focus on our campaign on illegal drugs, loose firearms, and fight against terrorism. Alam nyo, yung drugs, and kaya ako sinasabing mag-focus doon, the drugs and firearms, ito yung denominator ng pag-commit ng ating focus crimes, especially theft and robbery and death cases. And with that, pagsamasamahin mo po lahat yan, we need to participate with the to ensure the support of our community. Without the support, useless po yung ginagawa po natin. Kaya dapat po ipapakita namin, and we will go to our community, talk with our stakeholders.
All right, a community-centric approach. We thank you for talking to us, PNP Officer in Charge, Lieutenant General Jose Melencio Nartates Jr.
We're going to be taking a very quick break, but coming up, Batangas 1st District Congressman Leandro Leviste wants the district engineer he charged for attempted bribery to turn state witness. The neophyte lawmaker explains why when we speak to him live in a bit. Keep it here on One News.
Welcome back to the big story. Batangas 1st District Congressman Leandro Leviste has formally sued the DPWH district engineer who allegedly tried to bribe him over a flood control project. This morning, Leviste stood face to face with engineer Abelardo Calalo at the provincial prosecutor's office. The neophyte congressman charged Calalo with charges of direct bribery, corruption of public officials, and violation of the Anti-Graft and Corrupt Practices and Code of Conduct and Ethical Standards for Public Officials. Calalo was arrested after supposedly offering the lawmaker more than 3 million pesos to halt the investigation on DPWH projects in their district.
Pinipili lang daw ng congressman ang contractor na nagbibigay ng SOP. Hindi nagkakaroon ng tunay na mga bidding sa DPWH projects. Hindi lang po dapat yung mga employees ng DPWH ang dapat nating hold to account. And I believe with the help of state witnesses, we can catch a bigger fish.
And now let's discuss this some more with Batangas 1st District Representative Leandro Legarda Leviste, who's supposed to join us live in the studio pero hindi umabot. Hindi na balik, Congressman. We're happy to talk to you over the phone. Good evening.
Good evening, and thank you very much for having me.
All right. Well, first is this, how audacious was this district engineer to directly bribe you? Did he not? It was that direct? There were no feelers even made. It seemed like it was a normal transaction.
To put it in context po, I believe the public would expect that SOP or standard operating procedure is widespread in DPWH. It's just that I'm a first-term congressman and never experienced it firsthand myself. And the 3.1 M that was in a bag that had been offered came with a receipt of 3 projects totaling 104 million pesos, of which 3.1 M was 3%. So while it is currently being covered by the media as a special incident, the giving of SOP for DPWH projects is supposedly something that happens all the time, but not something that I would tolerate in my own district, and hopefully can be less common if the public is more outraged by incidents like this.
So you're saying is the way he approached you was like it was very normal. It was a usual practice.
Actually, I was able to discuss with him how the DPWH First District Office works during that conversation. And he said that most of these projects are not awarded through genuine biddings, that the contractors collude, that the congressman used to choose who the winning bidders are, and that the winning bidder gives an SOP to the congressman. And this, I'm told, is also done in other districts. And the problem, I think, is not that one employee of DPWH did it. It's that the system is allowing
Entrenched.
this to happen nationwide, and hopefully with some reforms can be reduced in its frequency. So the problem is not one individual. The problem po is the system.
Okay. And this is why you're offering that he turn state witness.
Yes, because it's rare that there is a actual case that is found, because perhaps there are reasons why other people aren't reporting an offer of bribes. But the hope is that we go after the people who are really behind this system. It's not the employees of DPWH. It's perhaps people who are above them.
But Congressman, some district engineers are contractors themselves.
I wouldn't be surprised, as reportedly some congressmen are too.
True.
Well, you also mentioned earlier on our sister program Storycon this afternoon to our colleagues na, even the COA is in on it, and they also get like, I think, half to 1% of the transaction deal or the project cost. Would you know, like in this whole web, have you laid it out in your mind, like how many people are really involved from how many agencies?
As a first-term congressman, I was trying to learn so that we can reform it. But now that I've done this, maybe no one will tell me anymore.
But Congressman, like when news came out over the weekend about what happened, I was trawling through the comment section, and a lot of people were actually even doubtful about what happened. Can you set the record straight that this was not a setup, that this actually happened?
Yes, I think the question is why only 3M? And it's because it's for one project, or sorry, one contractor's projects. But the statement to me was that there's 3.6 billion of projects in total in the first district of Batangas, and 5% or up to 10% of this could be obtained even from the already awarded projects. So perhaps it would be implausible that an engineer would try and offer 3 million. But this is just from one contractor's projects, and that a congressman of the first district of Batangas would be able to extract in the hundreds of millions of pesos per year, let's say 300 million pesos a year from a 3.6 billion peso budget.
And you were also saying, just a quick follow-up, says, kanina sa Storycon, you were saying na parang that was just one contractor nga, and you actually had another meeting with parang another contractor in the works. Will that still push through?
Oh, no, it was not in the works. It was offered.
It was offered, okay.
In the meeting where there was already a bag from one contractor, it was also offered that there be a meeting set with another contractor, and that meetings be set with many other contractors over the coming days. And then I thought of calling the PNP, and I think that the events are now reported. But the point is that whatever the budget of a congressional district for DPWH is, it is perceived that congressmen tend to get a percentage of that budget. Now, I don't want to speak on behalf of all districts in the country, but I can just say in the first district of Batangas, the contractors, the other people who are supposedly in the know of how this works would say that that really is how it has been. Kaya parang nasanay na rin po ang mga nasa DPWH First District Batangas office, kaya nga napaka candid sila sa pag-discuss nito sa akin, and they so openly offered this to me because that's how it's always been in the First District of Batangas.
So for the district engineer, he was probably shocked that you said no. I mean, he thought this is normal, you would say yes.
Yeah. And he even brought evidence against him. I mean, there was money, there was a receipt.
Parang he didn't even think that a no would be an option, right?
Yes, the receipt is the surprising part. But as to the offer of cash, he acknowledged that I would be disinclined to partake in that, but had said that this was suporta para sa aking mga programa, referring to the scholarships that I give students in my district. He said that the contractors are natutuwa sa mga itinutulong ko sa mga estudyante. So there's always, of course, euphemisms involved when dealing with these kinds of things. But of course, no one says that this is what it is. They try and couch it in more acceptable language.
You said earlier, may bigger fish na sikat na ngayon. What did you mean?
Yes, there's a project in my district that the local government of that town questioned the design of. And in an earlier meeting I had with DE, he said that it was malaking tao who designed that project, put it in the DPWH budget, and is the contractor himself for that project. And for my own personal safety, perhaps I would ask not to name names, but the list of projects and winning bidders are publicly available.
Okay. All right. You are with the Appropriations Committee, and you also mentioned that the budget for 2026 is 880 million, right, for of the DPWH. So how will you tackle this? Because obviously yung budget na yan poison na. Marami ng kung hindi ghost, repeat projects or substandard projects.
I would
Projects
tread
not
lightly
needed.
because, of course, Congress is a collegial body and we'd have to defer to the decision of the majority. But that in business, I think you wouldn't appropriate 880 billion to an agency that is proven to have these kinds of questions. So I think that without even reducing the number of projects, we can lower the budget by reducing the cost of the projects. I believe this was done in the time of Secretary Babe Singson. And if you force a reduction in the cost of the projects, maybe what is reduced is not the quality of the projects. If there's still quality control, maybe what's reduced is the SOP that's given to congressmen.
So
That's a pretty big fight, Congressman. Are you prepared to undertake it? So currently you are the poster boy and the protagonist in this storyline. Are you prepared to take it further? You also mentioned asking the DE na maging state witness. Do you think open siya doon?
I would, I guess, hope so, but I would not want to preempt any decision on his part. And by the way, I would also want to couch my statements about the DPWH in terms of what I've seen in my own district. And of course, we respect our colleagues in Congress. But I think that there's a greater political will now behind reforming DPWH because of PBBM SONA, and welcome the much wider support now for reforms in DPWH, even by members of Congress.
is Alpha and Omega one of the contractors in Batangas?
Yes, I think if you check the Sumbong sa Pangulo website for Binambang River, Balayan, you will see they are a contractor for one of the phases, but not for much of it. The contractors that are behind much of the projects in my district actually don't have that many projects outside of my district. And it's something that we're investigating for these contractors who have been given so many projects, but only in this district.
Okay. Can you also file cases against these contractors? Kasi parang middleman lang si DE, nung bagman ng mga contractors. And may resibo, di ba? So pwede na rin sila. Are you contemplating filing charges against this specific contractor where there's evidence of a bribe?
Case that we filed provides for other parties to be added to it once we can identify the persons that should be included in the case. But I would state that I think not even the contractors are the most responsible parties, because presumably if it's not one contractor, it could very well have been another contractor. Based on what I was told by DE, there is ability by congressmen to select the contractors that do the projects that they fund in their district.
And you're
of course, that's something that we do not condone. But the problem is that the DPWH approved budgets assume the costs that factor in the 10 to 20% reserved for congressmen. So if you have a district where the congressman does not get the 10 to 20% SOP, then either someone else apparently will get it within the DPWH system, or the savings would be returned to Treasury with no incentive for the district to then be efficient and have proper bidding procedures. So one of the things that I would propose actually is an incentive for districts to have efficient and economically priced bids, and also for hopefully districts that have more compliant and quality done projects to be given a bigger share of the budget. But what happens now is that because of the way that projects are allocated sometimes, the districts that actually have the most questionable practices are the ones given the most budgets, as has been seen in some of the examples of flood control.
Okay, Congressman, you're looking at it from a policy level, pero ang dami mong babanggain dyan. Handa ka ba as a first-time congressman na, to disclose this? Marami kang matatamaan ng mga, entrenched in this system na congressmen. Yes. You're ready.
Thank you for reminding me. So maybe I will think twice now. But I would say that my focus is not on the investigations in Congress and the Senate, but in my own district, because what I think is most compelling is when you have the technical findings of substandard projects, which the contractor cannot deny should be, let's say, 15 meters of a sheet pile, but when you measure it is only 4 meters, that there's a missing 11 meters. So one of the things that we're trying to do is to audit as many of the products as possible in our district and hopefully help the DPWH make claims for the missing materials on these projects.
All right. We thank you for joining us, Congressman Leandro Leviste, and good luck to you. Meantime, Senate President Francis Chis Escudero is urging contractors linked to questionable flood control projects to attend the Blue Ribbon Committee's public hearing on September 1st under penalty of law. Escudero has signed all subpoenas requested by the committee, which he expects to be served this week. 4 subpoenas for Metro Manila have already been sent, while 6 others outside NCR in provinces including Albay, Sorsogon, Bulacan, Pampanga, and Benguet are to be served today. He said contractors must clarify their involvement, warning that failure to comply could lead to arrest warrants. The Senate President stressed the importance of investigating alleged anomalies, including funded projects that were never implemented. Escudero also highlighted long-standing conflict of interest issues in government contracting and filed Senate Bill 783 to disqualify public officials and relatives up to the 4th degree from entering government contracts.
And before we say goodbye for the night, on to the weather. Do not forget to bring your umbrellas and raincoats when you step out anytime this week, because a low-pressure area within the Philippine area of responsibility has intensified and is expected to become a tropical storm. It was last spotted over the coastal waters of Siruma in Camarines Sur, bringing cloudy skies and rain to several regions. Areas affected include Metro Manila, Cagayan Valley, Cordillera Administrative Region, Central Luzon, Calabarzon, Bicol, and Eastern Visayas. Forecasts show that the LPA will move across Luzon and may exit the PAR in the coming days. Meantime, the southwest monsoon or habagat will be bringing showers to Mimaropa, Visayas, Zamboanga Peninsula, Barm, northern Mindanao, and the Caraga region.
And that's a big story this Tuesday. We thank you for watching.
We are One News, all sides, all the time.
We'll be back here tomorrow at 7:30. Have a good night.
Meantime, we have play-by-play coming up next with Cheska Letoncala and Jet Sulit. Guys, ang daming pasabog sa mundo namin. Kamusta ang mundo ninyo today?
Oh, may mga pasabog din kami.
Hindi ko na kayang
But
mga masayang pasabog
very good pasabog.
Very good. Okay.
Very good pasabog.
All right.
Filipino pride again.
Oh,
yes.
Looking
We'll and chess. We'll talk about that later.
Oh, wala bang teaser dyan? Joke lang.
Sinabi ko na nga, Filipino pride and chess eh. Yun na yung teaser.
Okay, sige. Okay, time for Filipino Pride para maka-log off tayo before 8:33.
Okay, you have a few seconds, but it's okay. But yes, thank you so much, Cess and Sean.
Yeah, thank you to the ladies of the big story. Tonight, we get to know Alex Ayala's upcoming opponent in the second round of the US Open. Plus, we tell you about Sean Quiteves and Chris Coon's next career moves.
Speaking of former Blue Eagles, we catch up with the UAAP's new basketball commissioner, Jai Reyes, about his plans heading into season 88.
I'm Jot Sulit sitting in for Andre Felix.